There are a ton of great cheap keyboard options on the market right now, and I haven't really been able to try too many of them. So when Kemove reached out and wanted to send over a board for me to try out, I was curious. Kemove did send out this board for me to take a look at, but they did not influence this video in any way, and they did not get to see the video before it was uploaded. This is the Kemove K98 SE. And it's about only $50 on Amazon right now, but it does have a 30% coupon that takes it down to about $37 at checkout. They sent over the blue clicky switch option for me to take a look at, and I did not get to pick the switches that I wanted to try because I would have preferred the red or brown switch option, and I normally don't use clicky switch keyboards and they aren't my preference, but I tried to give this board as fair of a chance anyways. I couldn't find the manufacturer for these switches. The product page does not say, and they do not have a name on the housing of the switches themselves. However, for not being a fan of clicky switches, I did find myself enjoying them more than I thought I would. They are very satisfying to type on, and I can see why some people like these types of switches. That being said, I would still prefer a linear or tactile option instead of the clicky switches. The actual board itself is made out of a plastic material, and it uses double shot PBT keycaps, and they actually feel pretty good. The overall quality of this board feels really good. The board is fairly heavy and has a good sturdy feel to it, and I don't feel like anything is going to break when using this board at all. I can't get it to flex at all really, and it does not have any weird creaking or crunching noises when I try to flex the board. Overall, I think the build quality of this board is very good for a plastic keyboard. The stabilizers on this keyboard are just clip-in stabilizers, and I honestly can't say too much about them. These clicky switches are so loud that they overpower the sound of the stabilizers, and I can't hear any rattle in the stabilizers over the sound of the blue switches. But they do feel nice and they do their job, so I have no complaints with the stabilizers. The keycaps on this board, like I said, are double shot PBT, and they actually feel really nice under my hand. They have a nice texture to them, and they aren't slippery or cheap feeling at all. They feel like a $20 to $25 set of replacement keycaps that you could buy off Amazon, and that is not a bad thing. I think they look pretty good too. The legends is easy to read and is not super distracting or anything like that, and I think it looks pretty clean. The extra functions of the keyboard are printed on the keys, and they are a little bit big for my taste. I personally like more blank and plain looking keycaps, but I understand why they need to be on there, and they are helpful for figuring out how to use the lighting effects and other things like that. The form factor of this board is something that I actually found I really liked. I usually use a 60% keyboard, but I can understand why people would need a number pad and dedicated arrow keys, but I think that this form factor is better than a full 100% size keyboard. I like having as much room for my mouse as possible, especially for when I'm gaming, and having a smaller board has always been my personal preference. But I think that this is a great option if you still need the number pad and other function keys. Speaking of gaming, in my opinion, this is not a gaming keyboard. And to be fair, Kemove doesn't market it as one either. This is the type of keyboard I would use at the office for editing videos or doing just general work on my PC. Of course, this board can be used as a gaming keyboard if you really want to, but it lacks the features that many gaming keyboards on the market have right now to be competitive and to give you the best chances in game. This is a normal keyboard with normal mechanical switches, so you do not get all the fancy features like rapid trigger or adjustable actuation to make this more optimized for gaming. So I think that this is definitely not aimed towards the gaming crowd. However, for the price and the market space for this keyboard, I think that this is a solid option. The software for this board is minimal and doesn't have a bunch of clutter like some other companies' software does. This board is not RGB, it is only this cool blue backlight color, so you can't change the color in the software, but you can change the lighting effects, and they have quite a bit of different options. And I think the lighting overall on this board is really well implemented. You can even set the lighting to react to the music or the sounds coming from your PC, and I think it is a pretty cool aesthetic. The last thing I want to mention is that this board is not hot swappable. So if you want to change the switches, it wouldn't be the easiest thing to do in the world. There is also no easy way to take this board apart, so taking it apart, unsoldering everything just to replace the switches seems like more of a hassle than it's worth. Maybe just pick the switches that you like to begin with and don't worry about replacing them in the future. But I think that overall this keyboard is a pretty decent value, especially at just over $35. I can say that if this is the type of keyboard you're looking for, this K98 SE is a very decent option and should be in your consideration. Thanks again to Kemove for sending this board out for me to look at, and thank you guys for watching this video. If you guys want to see any more content, please hit that subscribe button and leave a like. Thanks again, and as always, have a wonderful day.